go. Okay. All right, there you go, Elaine. Hey, how are you, sweetheart?
I'm good.
Good, good. I'm waiting for Richard. So this whole Facebook, I don't understand. I have been searching a little bit. Like I had sent you guys invite, but somehow you're not receiving the invite, and you still have to request it. So there
Yeah,
has been a lot of security reasons for, I don't know, they have done some changes, I guess, for Facebook.
right.
So while we're waiting for Richard, hopefully he can join us soon here. So tell me a little bit about yourself. We have, I think, 2 listeners here. I was trying to let people know our subject tonight is going to be about singles from different perspective. Your perspective would be totally different than what Richard is going to talk to us about this evening. And I think
Right.
from your perspective, we would love to hear a little bit about you and your journey.
Okay. Um, so I'm Elaine Lewis. I am about a year and a half divorced from my second husband. I am not ashamed of the fact that I've been married twice. I believe in love. I believe in relationships. I believe relationships can happen. Um, I mean, I'm a product of a 54-year marriage, so I know that love does work. But you know, I'll take whatever God can send me or whatever He wants for me. I'm a mom of a 22-year-old young man, an amazing young man. He makes his mother and his family very proud. His name is Brandon. Um, I am a few months, new Montgomery County resident. I live in Gaithersburg with my dog Logan, who I'm rushing home to get to now.
Oh,
um, I am a federal contractor. Um, the Lord has blessed me throughout the pandemic. I haven't lost a penny. You know, he maintained my employment, and I'm very grateful for that. I don't take it lightly. I'm very appreciative that God kept me employed, and I've been since my divorce. I've been on a journey learning me, getting to know me. You know, I tell a lot of people at one time I was Elaine Willie's daughter, and then I became Elaine James's wife, and I became Elaine Brandon's mom, and then Elaine Sean's wife. And throughout all of that, I didn't take advantage of getting to know me as a person, getting to know who I was, getting to know the things I like, what I didn't dwell on goals and all of those types of things because I was so busy filling those roles in my life, being a daughter, being a wife, being a mother, until I lost sight of me, the individual person. And you know, so often we train up the girls to be wives and moms, but we forget that we have to teach our daughters to love themselves first and get to know themselves and tap into their gifts and talents and callings and all of those things before they jump into being wives and mothers. And so I'm now at that point where I'm learning who
oops. I think we lost you a little bit there.
I could co-author a book, which I
Elaine is
did.
frozen.
And
Yeah.
I did a small group with with some women who were too experiencing or who had experienced traumatic experiences, and we all worked together to encourage each other how to get our joy back, you know,
Yeah.
through Christ. Just talking how get about me. I'm sorry, I'm going into the garage to park my car.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's why I was losing you a little bit.
I'm still here. It's just dark in the garage, but I'm still here.
Okay.
That's all. I was done. I was done.
Oh, okay, good, good. So, from your perspective, it's very different than somebody who's never been married before. And I think we're waiting for Richard to join us and
Yeah.
talk a little bit about his perspective.
Uh-huh.
And, a lot of times I think when you have been married and you do experience, someone that, has never been married before, it's
Uh-huh.
always grass is greener on the other side. Like,
Yeah.
you've already been married, you already have your child. I've never experienced it. And I think our timing is always, just so important that we just, whatever is supposed to be for us in our path and what God is meant for us in our lives. And
Yeah.
focus on the importance of our lives, like, those challenges that in our head, but really grateful and
Yeah.
gratitude. I think that is the most important thing. Um, so I think I lost Elaine, but I think one of the focus that a lot of times myself, when I was single, that, is just that day. When is that day going to happen? Who is it going to be? And just the challenges that everybody deals with. So if we just give ourselves the break and give ourselves some
I'm
gratitude.
sorry, I'm back.
It's okay. Okay. I was just talking a little bit more about, you know, I've already experienced myself that, hey, it's okay the time frame when, you're not married and there is that time where you're not finding people that
Yeah.
may balance you out.
Yeah.
So the key is to really have your life so set and be so fulfilled with what you have and be
Absolutely.
independent of who you are. So when you do find a person is an addition into your life.
Yeah.
So and that's the key. But thank you for sharing that. So with that, I know that we all look for that special person. And because you've experienced divorce, what would you say your top three qualities that you would be looking for in a male?
Yeah, so that those things, we think we lay those things out, and when the time comes and we find that special person, it definitely takes time to
Sure.
see those qualities in that person.
Yeah.
So the top qualities I'm interested in is communication. We say it all the time, communication is so important, but I don't think we really understand how important communication is. You
Yeah.
cannot have a successful relationship without proper communication. Talking those things out and being transparent, and then giving your partner grace to be able to
Mhm.
share their feelings, their hurts. Because we hurt each other, not intentionally, but we do at times say things to our partner that might be something that might be painful for them, and so
Yeah.
we just want to make sure we give each other space to um, to communicate those hurts and those offenses, and
Yeah.
understand it wasn't intentional, and I want you to be okay with telling me how you feel, and I'm okay with sharing how I feel. So communication is at the top of the list for me. That's the
Yeah.
most important thing for me. And then transparency, just being transparent and saying how you really feel. Like, um, I if I don't like this, I'm okay with telling you I don't like that. I don't want to do that, or um just I don't know, just transparency, being open and honest and saying the real things, showing the true you. So transparency, communication, um so I'm also really big on not playing the victim. If I tell you that you've offended me, you should be able to say, it is my apology. I did not intend to offend you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry, Logan is really upset with me.
Oh,
I didn't intend to offend you. That was not my intention.
right.
Instead of saying, well, I didn't mean to do that, or I didn't. I know that that wasn't your intent, that wasn't, you know, your plan, but you did offend me.
Yeah.
And that person should be okay with saying, I apologize. That was not my intention. I did not mean to offend you, and I didn't intend to hurt you. So those are the top three things. And unfortunately, our experiences kind of trigger those things. Had I not gone through what I went through, some of those things would not be qualities that I've been looking for. So, you know, some of the things that we've experienced in our past can kind of develop what our qualities are that we're looking for in our next partner.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is important, that denial, that I think even in our friendships, that happens, right? It's
Yeah,
not so much in our partner, but being able to just be comfortable in your own skin and
yeah,
they're comfortable in theirs, to be able to
yeah.
say, hey, we're not the same. We weren't raised the same, different foundation. It's okay
Right, right.
not to agree on everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, you are absolutely right on. I totally agree with you. I think lastly, I would say, you know, based on, you know, your divorce, you haven't really dated anyone because, you know, you just haven't had a chance. You and I were talking, COVID hits, and, you know, haven't had a chance to really see, nor are you really
I'm
focused.
listening, finance. I'm going to turn some light on in here. It's pretty dark.
Okay.
There we go. Is that better?
So the fact that you're really not so focused on it, you're fulfilled with your life right now, you're working on yourself. And I think that's another key for people that do get out of relationships that was not healthy, to give each other, our own soul, ourselves time,
Yeah,
that space to get to know our own needs. And there's nothing wrong with that. So
yeah.
what would you say some of the things that you experienced during dating your ex husband, and were there any good experience, any bad experience during the dating?
So, um, it was definitely this whirlwind romance. I mean, clearly he did the right things. He said the right things, and I'm not, and by no stretch of the imagination am I saying that he's a bad person, because he's not. He is not a bad person. We just didn't work. Our marriage just didn't work.
Right.
But he was very romantic, um and unfortunately we didn't give ourselves enough time to really truly get to know each other. We had a very short courtship, we had a very short engagement, and within a few months of meeting each other, we got married. And so we didn't do ourselves um, justice. We didn't give ourselves um, what we should have rightfully given each other, which was time to get to know each other. And that, I think that's what it all boils down to. We didn't give each other time to get to know each other. With that being said, we did not have a bad marriage. There were just some things that were deal breakers. It was not my plan to divorce. There were just some things that he wasn't satisfied with, and he chose to move away from the marriage. But so going back to what you were saying about time and taking the time, I decided that once that marriage was over, I refused to go down that road again. I refused to go down that marriage path again. I mean, once was enough, but two times, come on now. So I decided I was going to give myself however much time I need to 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 make myself ready to move into that next phase in life. And I know where I am right now, I'm nowhere near ready because I'm still dealing with the effects of my divorce. And I can't take that into another relationship. So taking that time is so important. Getting the mental health services that you need, talking to a therapist, building your village of people that will encourage you to be the best you possible moving into that relationship. If you're not taking the time to get to know yourself, if you're taking the time to get to know yourself, if you're not taking the time to tap into those things that that partner said were triggers for them, there are things that he said to me that I know are true. The things that he said that I did to him or I said to him that he knows that I know is true. And so those are the things that I've been working on since we've divorced. And if I think it's so important to take the time to work on yourself, because you cannot be the best person showing up for that person if you just, it's not fair to them. It's not fair to go into a relationship broken. You have to go in whole. It's not two halves make a whole. No, in a marriage, it's two whole people making a whole healthy marriage. And if you're not giving yourself the time to fix yourself and work on yourself and work on your mental health, work on your physical self, work on your finances, work on your spiritual growth, work on every area that would impact your marriage, which is your whole self. If you're not doing that, then you're doing your future partner a disjustice.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. It's almost like they say the same thing in the airplane, when you get on. What happens if the masks come down, during the emergency? Do you put it on first? Do you put it on to save your son, your daughter, your family? No, you've got to save yourself first before you can take the mask and put it the one, next to you. So
Can't do it.
health matters, or you're getting stronger. Our spiritual health is so the key. I think one of the things that Dave and I, my husband and I did, was really great is that we sat down with our pastor of our church and did a premarital where he really dig down deep into the different family and or foundation, his side of family, my side of family, some of the challenges that we might have been aware about our parents or our siblings, and really look into challenges are going to rise. Marriage is not easy. You are going you know some hiccups, and I think a lot of times people don't understand, like they see the happy pictures on Facebook. Social media is a not a really great place sometimes for thinking what you're seeing is the reality of our life.
Right.
It has some kind of a challenge. So I think what we could do is do the best that we can do, like you said, encourage one another. Females out there listening, if there are even male out there, I don't know, we lost our guest. He's a male, Richard Glover, that was going to join us and talk from his perspective and some of his challenges, why he's still single. There's nothing wrong to remain single and get stronger with God.
I'm happily single. I'm so, yes, I want to share my life with someone. I do want to have, Friday nights. I'm kind of sitting around and I'm like reaching out to my girlfriends. Hey, what are y'all doing? Oh, I'm out on a date with oh, okay, well, I'll see you. Of course, I want to have those experiences, but I know I'm not ready for that because I'm still on my journey to wholeness. But at the same time, I'm still happy where I am. I still get out and do some of the things that I want to do. If I have to go with myself, not by myself, but with myself, I do that. If I want to go out to brunch, if I want to go to a movie, I'll do those things. And I'm okay with doing it with myself.
Yeah.
And then when my partner comes, then I can do those things with my partner. But I'm telling you, Farnes, I'm so happily single. I'm so happily single. I look forward to having that partner to do those fun things with, but I'm happily single, and that's the only way it's going to work. You have to learn to be happy with yourself, happy with what you have going on. That person is not going to bring you happiness. That person will enhance your happiness, but they cannot bring you happiness.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, we all die alone. At the end of the day, you go to bed yourself, you get up yourself. Everybody has to just be happy in their own skin. Sometimes it's hard and lonely, especially during COVID. We're definitely not saying that everyone should remain single, because we know as faith-based that, God doesn't want anyone to be, we all can, he sends a helper,
Right.
that helper. And if it's not there, there's no rush. We don't want to make mistakes. I know from my journey, a lot of people that know me, I've made a lot of mistakes because I'm a very old-fashioned, thinking I want to get married. I don't want to have boyfriends. Just those mentality actually hurt me so much because I was rushed into marriage, and that's not the way. So I'm blessed to know that you're happy. I'm blessed to know that your growth as a woman, a follower of Christ, um, and I've gotten to know you for some time now in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
And I think like females that need other females, reach out to ones. If you have trust with someone that you build some great relationships, have people pray for you. Even when, you can pray for each other, you never know, because
Right.
that's what I did. Out of nowhere, it was really, I can tell you, I was not going to get married. It wasn't something that was on my radar. I even told my husband now that I didn't want to get married. So, and, it was straight out, like, I don't want to get married. I had such a
Yeah.
bad experiences that I didn't want to get married. But, it's just like, the Holy Spirit and, knowing that this was right, I made the decision. So we all need God to help us through our decisions. And I just can't thank you enough for your time. But before I let you go, is there one thing that you want to share to leave the audience with? Something that is encouraging during the time of COVID when people are alone and they don't have this the partner or any other friendship and they're scared. What would you say to encourage them?
So it took a minute to kind of get my footing, because my divorce happened right before COVID happened. So I was dealing with, the hurt and the brokenness with that. And then shortly, and I was still living in our marital home. Shortly after that, my son moved out. So I was like going through. I was really going through. But the one thing that did change, and I'm not saying that moving helped, but I changed my surrounding. I changed my address and all of those things. But even if a person can't change physically, changing your outlook emotionally, changing the landscape of what your spiritual eyes see, changing your thought process, those are the things that help me. I allowed myself to have moments of grief and sadness and disappointment. And then I I told myself that at this particular point, whatever that point is for that person, at this particular point, the sadness and depression has to go. Now, you may experience moments of that, but that sitting in that has to go. It
Right.
has to go. You cannot dwell on that. You cannot stay in that place. And the only way you get to that point is you have to talk it out. There's no way. I reference therapy a lot. I know a lot of people don't believe in seeking therapy, mental health services, but I promise you, I would not have made it through this point. I have a phenomenal village. I have amazing sisters. I have the world's best friends. But there are times when those people couldn't get me the answers that I needed. And there's some things that I didn't want to dump on them. I didn't want to, there were some feelings that I couldn't even verbalize. The therapist was able to bring those things out. The therapist gave me a place where I could talk freely. I could say the things that I needed to say. have the feelings that I needed to have. And she worked with me and worked with me and worked with me to the point where I was able to break free from that depression, and I could change my outlook on life. I could change my thought process. I realized that I'm worthy. Yeah, I'm definitely worthy. I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of friendship. I'm worthy of everything that God has given me. I'm worthy of my new apartment. I'm worthy of my new furniture. Everything. I yes, he may feel worthy of what he has also, but I know that I'm worthy of these things.
Yeah.
That divorce does not define me. It doesn't make me a failure. It didn't make me a reject or anything that the enemy would try to make us think about ourselves. That divorce did not define me. It was something that I had to go through in order for me to get where I am today. Happily single. I needed, and I didn't want to go through that, but I know that that thing that I went through got me to this place where I could help somebody else.
Sure.
Nobody wants to be sad. Nobody wants to feel lonely. And I do have moments where I feel lonely, but I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone. And so just I encourage you, my sister, I encourage you, my brother, get the mental health that you need first and foremost, and then get the spiritual help that you need, and work on your finances and work on your physical man in every area of our lives that God said that he would prosper us, and he would want us to prosper and be in health. That is every area of our lives. And if God wants that for you, then you deserve it and you're worthy of it. And I tell you today, God does want that for you. So go after it. Go after that mental health support. Go after that gym membership. Go after that diet change. Go after that financial counselor. Go after whatever it is that will get you to the place where you are satisfied with yourself and you are 100%, so that you can go into your next relationship at 100%.
Absolutely. No, amen to all of that, because our worth is important. We have to take care of ourselves. And I do hope and I do pray that people are watching. If there's anyone that has challenges, to please, there's so many resources, especially right now with COVID. There are churches that support you. There are people that love you. You know, you just have to ask and just reach out, and help is there. We have so many resources. BetterHelp.com, there's scholarships out there. And I think also there's a lot of times advice may not be from someone that's really close to
Hey,
you.
Richard.
Sometimes it depends. People have their own challenges. So if the challenges that you're facing, it's best to get really a professional, someone that can look outside of your situation and be biased, but someone can actually help you, guide you through the process. So I just know that if there's any questions for Elaine and I have her tagged. We'll go ahead and share this podcast, and I'll probably get on after Elaine and I will get Richard on the phone, and him and I will do it from his perspective. And we will be seeing you guys shortly. Thank you, Elaine, again. Love you, girl. Have
Love
a
you too.
slogan for me.
Yes, he's right here, ready to go.
Have a great evening. Thank you,
Thank
sweetheart.
you so much, Farnaz. Thank you for having me. And I pray that something that I said would be a blessing to somebody. That's my goal. I know that I went through this to help somebody else. So I pray that somebody else receives some sort of insight on what I went through.